All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our webinar for this afternoon. Thank you if you joined us earlier today. Today, at this time, our webinar is Money Matters, and you'll get information from One Stop Student Services and also important information from financial aid. So just as we've done in the past, if this is your first time joining us, we are here on Zoom and on Facebook. So if you have any questions, please drop them into the Q&A section here on Zoom or on Facebook. So if you see me looking sideways, I'm looking for your questions. Well, again, we've had webinars before, and they're already recorded on Facebook and on our website. So if you've missed any of them, no worries. You can go back and watch them, rewatch them, and share them with everybody. So today we are very excited to have two wonderful presenters, Brian Kimbrough from Student Financial Aid and Wilton Murphy from One Student Services. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves and take us through the presentation. And again, put your questions in the Q&A or in Zoom on Facebook in the comments. Thank you. Welcome, Wilton and Brian.
Hey, well, hello everyone. I'm Wilton Murphy, Director of One Stop Student Services. Thank you all for being here today.
And hello, everyone. I'm Brian Kimbrough, Senior Associate Director of Financial Aid. And thanks everyone for being here today.
Okay, so we can get started with Money Matters, a subject that it's a big task, but hey, it has to be addressed. But hopefully after this presentation, you'll receive some information that's very useful to you and also your student as well. So let's get started. So just an overview of what we'll be discussing today with my office, One Stop Student Services, what we do. Also, we'll touch on FERPA, billing statements and paying tuition, what's a drop versus withdrawal, federal financial aid, tips and resources, and also we'll take questions at the end. But if you do have questions, go ahead and send those as you do think of them so that we can address them later on. All right, so what is One Stop? So my office, we serve as the front face for the registrar's office, financial aid, and student account services. We're also the office that your student will come to receive their one card. So they may have already seen us if they've had an earlier orientation session, but if not, they'll see us when they do come to campus. With us, we do answer questions again with regards to registration. We can assist students with a UAB email, things like how to change major. Again, we're the first stop for financial aid and scholarship questions, and also to help students make payments. In our office, we do have someone from financial aid that's here every day. So if something that we can assist a student with regards to financial aid, we do have somebody on site every day that can assist them. Also, too, with any other issues that your student may contact our office with, if we can't help them and correct the problem here, we'll actually do that footwork for the student to at least get them pointed to the right direction just directly versus having them go in search of whomever to actually help them with whatever they're actually needing. So let's get into FERPA. I know many of you have already heard of it, but it's something that is very important to the university. We do have to go by these guidelines. So I will read this verbatim because it is important. So with FERPA, what is it? It's the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. FERPA is a federal law that prohibits college and universities from releasing anything except directory information to anyone, including parents, without the student's consent. If you do contact our offices, we are more than willing to assist you. However, we do have parameters that we must remain in. And again, we must have the student's consent to release that information to you. If you do have questions, again, we can answer general questions, but if your student is actually not present in office with you or on the phone with you or send us an email prior to you calling, given that consent, it's only so much that we can release to you. But again, we'll try as best as we can to answer your general questions when you do have them. Billing statements. We actually do not send out billing statements to students. Those are actually emails are sent out to students once charges are actually posted. Charges will actually post starting on the 23rd of this month. So that's that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. They'll actually start receiving charges. And they also will receive an email more than likely the following Monday to let them know that charges have been posted to their account. So once charges are actually posted, you'll actually see also in regards to financial aid, which we'll get to a little bit later on, you'll see what they owe, and also too with the aid that they have accepted, you'll see what the remaining balance will be on. Also in regards to general things like scholarships, which I will get to on the next, like the next two slides. If you do have an outside scholarship, those can actually be sent to us. I will have the address here in the next couple of slides, but just be sure that the donor has the student's information on it. It can be like a letter, could be written on the check, but something that states the student's name along with their Blazer ID and or student number. Having that is very important because it will delay payment being posted to the student's account. And so we do want to go ahead and have those scholarships added to the student's account before the first payment deadline to just even give you a better picture of exactly what the balance will be remaining after that. Also, too, the first day of classes, all scholarships that we do have on file, along with university scholarships, along with financial aid, they'll actually be posted on the student's account that actually posts that particular day. If you are an employee, you'll actually see the educational assistant listed on your student's account. However, on the first day of class, it will disappear, so don't be alarmed. So it'll disappear, but it'll actually reappear generally like Tuesday or that Wednesday to the student's account as well. So just to give you a little heads up on that, so don't be alarmed if you see it beforehand and they don't see it on the day, first day of classes. So here with paying tuition, just give you an example of what your student will see once charges do post to their account. So with the example, with the campus dining fee, that's mandatory for all full-time students that are taking 7 or more hours on campus. Also, with the meal plan, student athletic fee. If they do decide to buy a parking permit, it's not required, but they do would have to go in and apply for that. And parking permits, they go on sale August 1st. So keep that in mind, August 1st for parking permits. All of those charges will be listed. And on the right side, you will see payment. And so you'll see if the student does decide to take out loans, the subsidized loan, unsubsidized loan, that will be listed as well as far as underpayments, and then the current balance that they'll actually see. Now, we do have a payment plan, which is the Blazer Flex plan. This particular plan, it allows students to break their payment up into three. Equal payments. So, for instance, with this particular scenario, student's bill is 58.30 um, after the subsidized and unsubsidized loan has been taken out. So with that, now there is a one-time $25 enrollment fee, which is automatically added to the student's account. So as you will see on the first payment, this loans paid that, so it's nothing that come out of pocket. But on the second payment deadline and also third payment deadline, you'll see that those payments are equal, getting split up. The 58.30 plus the 25, and that's how it became up to 27.50. And so these payment deadline dates are the actual payment deadlines for the fall semester. August 25th, which is the first day of classes, and also the first payment deadline. So either the full payment is due at that time, or at least the first third of the payment. And then from there, September 22nd and also October 20th. You can pay more if you want to, as far as with the first payment, which will actually decrease the next two payments if you would like as well. With payment options, students payments are made through Students BlazerNet if they are doing a electronic check, which is free of charge. We do take credit or debit cards. However, there is a 3% processing fee on all credit card and debit card payments, but electronic checks free of charge. And the only thing that student have to input will just be the routing number and also the account number. Students can also drop off checks here in front of our office in room 103 in the Hill Student Center. We do have a drop box for that, which we do have security to come in multiple times before the semester, but on the day of, they generally come about 3 times, and then also one time the following morning just to get payments that may have been submitted after our office is closed. And also they can actually mail in checks to the Financial Operations Center. So difference between a drop and withdrawal. So this is something new to UAB as far as the extended drop deadline, which you'll get to here in a second. So September 2nd, this day is the last day that students can add a course for the fall semester or drop a course and receiving a full tuition refund back for tuition and fees. So that's September the 2nd. Now, the new extended drop deadline allows students to go to class up until October the 8th. And they decide that, hey, it's not for them or, decide, whatever, they can actually drop the course. It will not appear on their transcript. And they also will receive a refund for just tuition. However, they are still responsible for fees for the class. So just for an example, if a student is taking a course, like a science course, that has a lab, they will get the tuition back for the course, but the lab fee, which generally runs anywhere from $200 to $400, they won't receive that back. But the course will not show on their transcript. Also, too, after this particular date, they can't drop classes after it. We also will not accept academic appeals for drops after the October 8th deadline. Okay, so November the 7th. So with the withdrawal deadline. So this particular date, if a student says like, hey, anywhere between October 9th to November 7th, hey, I'm not doing good in the course. I don't want to tank my grades. They can actually withdraw from the course. No questions asked. They can do it from their BlazerNet. For this particular action, they will receive a W on their transcript, which doesn't hurt their GPA, but it does show an attempt of taking the course. And also, too, they're still financially responsible for all tuition and fees. Then they can do single courses. So if they've taken 4 courses, they can drop 2 if they want to. They can drop 3, drop 1. I will withdraw, I'm sorry, from 1, 2, or 3 courses they are taking 4. However, anywhere between November the 8th to December 5th, which is the full term withdrawal deadline, after November 7th, if a student decides that, hey, it's not working out for whatever reason, again, no questions asked, they can go in and withdraw from all of their courses for the semester. They will receive W's on their transcript. However, it will not impact their GPA. But on the flip side, it will affect their completion percentage, which could have an effect on the student's financial aid. But as far as transcript and grades, they'll have a W, but they will not affect their GPA. So again, September 2nd, that's the last day the students can add classes or drop with a full refund on tuition and fees. October 8th is the last day that students can drop a class, but they will receive a full refund on tuition. However, they will still be responsible for fees. November 7th, they're still responsible for tuition and fees, but they can drop individual classes. And December 5th, students can withdraw from all of their classes and they're still responsible for full tuition and fees. So if your student has an outside scholarship, as I alluded to earlier, this is the address that they can actually send those scholarship checks to. Be sure again to have the student's name and also their Blazer ID and or student number accompanying the check on it. Also, too, with outside scholarships, and this more so of if students are receiving federal aid along with the outside scholarships, be sure that they fill out their student resource form, which is found on the My Financial Aid page on BlazerNet. So by doing this, if they are awarded additional federal aid, that way financial aid knows that, hey, they have this additional money coming in, so that way they won't over award them. Over award may sound good, but what happens is if a student's over awarded, it may not get picked up until later on after they receive a refund, and those funds will have to be taken back from the student, which will cause a balance later on for the student. And I will hand it off to Brian.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. And so my portion is to pick up on financial aid. So I know this is the biggest question on how it works, how we're gonna pay for school and all that. So my team is here. I have someone here as a support. So we're here as a support system to assist with answering any questions, making sure everything goes through correctly. If there's any errors or issues with the FAFSA application, we're here to help with that. And we're always available to speak with or speak with through email. And as Wilton said, we always have a counselor at One Stop that if you need to come in and sit with someone, they're able to assist you there. And so the first step to receiving financial aid is applying for the FAFSA application. I know we had some changes in the 24-25 award year where the application wasn't available till around December. They're actually working on that to where we're on schedule for the next one, the 26-27 award year to be October 1st, as anyone that had previously filled out application, or if you had previous students that filled it out before, we're going back to the October 1st open date on studentaid.gov. So once you do that, that's going to be the first step. And so with getting the application done, we'll receive it as long as you add our school code on there. And then if there's anything else needed, if there's any type of verification, anything missing, we will contact you. And also keep an eye on your BlazerNet. That's where you're going to receive your financial aid offers through BlazerNet. You can view and accept or decline any financial aid offers through BlazerNet. That's where you can submit a resource form and a Title IV authorization form on BlazerNet. So always for any messages, any updates, please keep an eye on your BlazerNet. Next thing, you would complete your master promissory note. That is going to give you all your terms if you're taking out a student loan. Terms and conditions are also where you update your information and your promise to repay that loan. Also, you'll do entrance counseling for student loans. All that's housed on studentaid.gov. Aid will be dispersed on your account the first day of classes of each semester. And so for the FAFSA, you do have to do one each award year. So this award year coming up, it will include the fall term, the spring term, as well as the summer. You'll do a 26-27 FAFSA, which will be available on schedule October 1st. You start doing that early to where each award year you will do a new FAFSA. Also, we do have work study funds available. It will be paid to students work throughout the school year. So we can assist you with getting information to finding jobs on campus. We do have off-campus locations as well that you can be paid through work study. Okay. And we can move on to the next slide. All right, so when we discussing federal aid, there is a few types of federal aid. So the first will be Pell Grants, grants, any type of grants, what's Pell Grant. We have other funds that will be available through Title IV. There's going to be your need-based aid. You are not required to pay any grants back. As I discussed earlier, we do have federal work study. That's also a need-based program that allows students to work on campus or in certain off-campus position with each funds to help you pay for college expenses. So they are paid as you work. And then next is going to be your direct student loans. That's money that you can borrow at a low interest rate from the federal government that helps you pay for school. As long as you're enrolled at least half-time, there's no repayment while you're in school. You do get a grace period. So all that's information will be given during entrance counseling. And if you want to speak with us on details on that, we can assist with that as well. Important note, undergraduate students must be enrolled at least half-time, which here will be 6+ hours each semester to be eligible for student loans. If a student can receive a Pell Grant when enrolled less than half-time. So for student loans, at least half-time again, which is 6+ hours. We do have less than half-time Pell you can receive, but for student loans, it's going to be at least half-time. Okay. Additional sources of funding. You can look into scholarships, accept UAB scholarships at uab.edu. Be smart. Our scholarship office very helpful. We do have a system with Be Smart that actually lets you look into different scholarships to see what you might qualify for. It's going to give a detailed description of each scholarship. So definitely use Be Smart as well. You can send outside scholarships to our scholarships office. So that's if you have any from any outside organization, just send that check there with their information, and that will get applied to your account. Parents can apply for the Parent Plus loan on studentaid.gov. It's a non-need base, can be offered to cover students' remaining costs up to cost of attendance. The current interest rate is 8.94. And there's also alternative loans you can apply for. And we do have a website for that. And so with the website we have for alternative loans, you can look up the loan based on the description of what you need, based on that time. So there's a lot of options there for you. And that's on uab.edu/cost aid, types of aid, /loans, /alternative education loan. So that one's it. If you can look up that website, there's a lot of options there, and you can find the options that's best for you. That's if you do not want to use any of the student loans, or if student loans do not cover the full amount, you can look into alternative loans. Okay. All right, so important tips. Review your account balance on BlazerNet or in the Family Hub before making a payment. And again, really watch that BlazerNet for your account balance. Any type of communication that comes out will come to your BlazerNet account. Keep in mind that anticipated FinAid includes merit-based scholarships awarded by UAB and any federal financial aid. Awarded is not the same as accepted. Students must accept the financial aid offers in BlazerNet before funds can be credited to your account. Just to piggyback off that too, if you haven't accepted an offer, because we've had students after the term ends and there may be a slight funding gap, want to accept with student loans. Once that term ends, we cannot accept any offers at that time. So always, if you're looking to receive that aid, make sure you go through BlazerNet and accept it. Payments can be made online with an electronic check, credit, or debit card through BlazerNet. Credit and debit cards will be assessed a 2.95% processing fee. Checks can also be mailed to the Financial Operations Center or dropped off in a secure drop box outside of One Stop office in the Hill Center. Okay. All right, and we do have a number of online resources. Again, always BlazerNet, and payment options. You can go to uab.edu, when to pay, one-stop services, uab.edu/one stop, and always you can see all your academic deadlines, start dates, drop dates on your academic calendar at uab.edu/academic calendar. Okay. All right, and right there.
All right, yep. And so, if you do have any additional questions in regards to payments, or again, registration, any random things, feel free to visit our office at One Stop. Visit our office at One Stop. We're in the Hill Student Center on the first floor in room 103. Here's our phone number, email address. Also, too, we do take walk-ins, phone calls, emails, and also now we have Zoom appointments. So that we kind of get around that FERPA. If the student is in our office, we can Zoom you in and we can all discuss what the issue is. So again, hey, feel free to contact us. And thank you all so much for attending today. If you do have any questions, now is the time to let us know.
Thank you. We do have a couple of questions. And let's just get to the questions, and I'll remind our families about the Family Hub and BlazerNet and how some things, you see on the Family Hub, some other things you take care of on BlazerNet. So one of the questions that we have, and thank you for sending your question, is how do we use the 529 plan to pay tuition? What would you need from the financial institution where we have our 529 funds?
So really from that, the only thing that I'd assume the financial institution would need is just our information. So what I put in the chat, which is the address that payments can actually be sent to. So once charges are posted, I know the main charges, which is tuition, housing, and meal plans, all of them will actually be posted first. If your student does have health insurance, if they haven't done so now, go ahead and have them complete their insurance waiver. So that way that their insurance charge won't be added to the account. However, if it's not done, it's okay. They still have time to submit the waiver. But those insurance charges actually post August the 1st. With parking, those charges will be posted a little bit later as well, once they're actually added to the student account. I don't have that particular date on hand, but they do go on sale August 1st. But saying all that to say this, just whatever the amount that you are getting from your 529, have it just sent to the address to the payment financial operations center, which is in the chat. They're listed, and so that way that they can actually apply to the student account. But be sure to add the student's name along with the Blazer ID and or student number. Something else too, if you do have Alabama PAC, there's nothing to do on that. Student Account Services, they actually conduct a Social Security search for all students, seeing if they do have PAC. So if they do have PAC, that's automatically added to the student's account.
Awesome, thank you. One other question is, does UAB offer workshops or one-on-one help for people interested in applying for grants?
Yes and no. And the yes would more so the no would be it's nothing like official, but yes, you can always come to our office. Now, in regards to doing the FAFSA, yeah, you can come to the office and do the FAFSA, which will actually look at grants as far as just your Pell Grant and SEOG, and also Teach Grant, which is all listed under the FAFSA. Now, outside grants, we don't have that capability because, again, if you do find something outside, hey, we'll accept it. We don't have like an engine or anything like that that actually searches for those. But if a student does need the computer to complete a FAFSA, they're more than welcome to actually come to our office.
Thank
Yeah, and
you. Mhm.
like I said, just to piggyback off that with the FAFSA, anything once you fill it out, as for grants, any grants that you qualify for, we'll make sure those are applied. But if you got any additional questions just about a grant, just reach out to us. And then like I said, any scholarships always look outside of UA if you can look outside of UAB, but be smart. What we have to offer as UAB would be the first option I would look at for actual any additional scholarships. But as for grants from the federal government, once you fill out that FAFSA, it's going to let us know exactly what you qualify for.
Awesome, thank you. So this family member says her daughter has an outside scholarship and they do have the check in hand. So do they need to submit it before charges are posted on July 23rd?
Yeah, they don't have to submit it beforehand, but the earlier the better, so that it'll already be on the account. Because payments again, they're not due until the 25th of August. But if they have it in hand, they can actually bring it to our office, which will actually get it turned over to have it applied to the student's account.
Awesome. We also have a student who's a Tennessee resident and recently changed their major to get academic common market. How does the scholarship work now?
Now, with that particular question, you will want to contact us directly so we can actually look into it. Because we'll need to actually see, what scholarship you have and also too, what you were originally granted as far as your residency, because that's what our academic common market is essentially getting in-state tuition for certain majors that your state doesn't offer. So yeah, for this particular one, actually contact us directly and we'll be able to help you there.
Perfect. And thank you everybody for their questions. And again, I'm looking sideways because I see questions coming in. We have another student who the student is this situation. It might be something that they need to come over to your office. The student is a U.S. citizen by birth, but did most of their K through 12 education outside of the States in another country, except for 12th grade when they did it here in stateside. So are there any additional financial aid options this student can look into?
Yeah, that would be it because it's all different. So it would be more so they would need to contact us, and then we can look at the situation and see what's going on because it's different types of situations. I don't want to give a blanket answer for that one.
Correct. And that's why we have provided you the information for financial aid and for One Stop. Definitely One Stop if you want to, it's easier. It's here. You can email them at onestop@uab.edu. You can send us your question. We'll make sure to send the question to the appropriate resources as well. So a couple of things you mentioned that because of FERPA, and I need to remind families that students' information is private, like you said, Wilton. So through the Family Hub, you can request access to your students' financial and academic records, with the keyword being request, because it needs to be approved. So you can do that through the Family Hub. And if you've been to orientation, we explain how to do that. If you haven't been able to do it and you would like to request access, and then your student would get an email on that side. That can be done through the Family Hub, and feel free to contact us at families@uab.edu, and we'll explain that through how it works so that you can have updates on anything that's new, any notifications, and then you can work with your student. The other thing you cannot do through the Family Hub is you cannot make payments through the Family Hub. That is done through BlazerNet. So work with your student to make those payments. There is a question about BlazerNet. I was talking about that. And so when a student will grant, how will I pay? The basic question is, how is a parent to use BlazerNet to pay a bill through BlazerNet?
So essentially, this where the trust comes into play. Because we don't encourage parents to actually go through the student's BlazerNet, because unfortunately they can mess things up. But from there, the student, hopefully that you're all together, you could log in, and actually make the payment, from there. Unfortunately, we don't have a workaround as far as that as of right now. However, again, payments right now can be made directly through the BlazerNet. Again, paper check, they can bring it here. Again, if you do, we don't accept cash. So if you're so happen to be on campus and want to pay cash, we don't accept that. But as far as just BlazerNet wise, that's where you would actually make those electronic payments.
And there is a follow-up question for BlazerNet. Because this family had this is the second student coming to UAB, go Blazers. And so they had already had BlazerNet set as a parent access, guest access, and they had one password that the student created for them. The question is, and the answer you'll give it, but does my new student have to give me a new password just for their account?
Correct. Yeah. So it'll be separate.
Yes. And again, we want students get that parent access so that you're not, like Wilton said, going into the BlazerNet as your student, because things can go, it's confusing and can create a little problem. There is 2 questions that have to do with cash. Can we pay via Cash App or can we pay cash?
Neither. So you would have to do, debit or credit card. With like a Visa logo, like, Visa, MasterCard, Discover logo. You can do cashier's check, money order, we'll accept that, which again, they can drop those off here in front of our office. But as far as Cash App, Apple Pay, Google Pay, we don't have those capabilities.
All right, great questions. Let me check. And again, thank you very much for all of your questions. You could still submit some additional questions if you have them. So make sure that if the questions come up later, do send them to us either at families@uab.edu or onestop@uab.edu, and then we'll navigate from there. I don't see any other questions coming in right now. Are there any last minute reminders that you want to give families as they prepare for the transition and payments and all those great money matter issues?
Yeah. So one thing would be just talk with the student about checking their emails regularly. And this is not only just for payments, but just for any general information from UAB. Because again, things are always sent out to give students reminders of not only deadlines, but just general information as a whole. Again, when charges are posted to students' accounts, they will receive an email. So again, that's why, checking emails are important. Another thing don't wait to the last minute to do anything. Because hey, we can try to work miracles, but sometimes it does take time. And sometimes time doesn't go along with deadlines. So, with anything, try to be proactive with it, talk with your students about it, to get things done. Lastly, hey, don't be ashamed or afraid or scared, anything like that, to come ask questions and seek help, because that's what we're here for. Things that may seem like a mountain to you or to your student, hey, it's just small, there's something small to us, but again, don't hesitate, to contact us, because we're here to help.
And I'm glad you mentioned
And
that.
yeah,
Oh, go ahead, Brian.
okay,
Sorry.
I was just gonna piggyback off that. Like that's one of the things we've seen every situation before. So definitely don't think your situation is something that we can't handle. That's what we're here for. So always reach out to us and be proactive. For example, the 26, 27 FAFSA will be available October 1st. Once it's available for the next school year, go ahead and fill it out early, so you can have all your things in place and just follow the steps and just pay attention to any communication that comes out and just be mindful of deadlines, as Wilton said. But again, the main thing, we're here to help. So we're here to close that gap of what you or the student, the parents, has questions about or don't know, or just always ask questions if you do not know. We're here with a professional, so we could definitely assist you. And again, we've seen all situations, so any situation we can handle.
And I'm so glad you mentioned that, because I think families, you need to remember we're all in this together for your students. And as we tell you during orientation and through the conversations that we have, we've got the experts here to help you in the different areas. We'll connect you with whoever you need. So don't ever hesitate to ask and send us your questions, because we're here to help you, to help your student be successful, because that is what we're all here for. So thank you for bringing that up, because I think it's very important. One thing that did come up is if a family member calls One Stop, they cannot receive information. The student needs to grant them authorization to receive that information. Is that correct? And how long does that last?
So now we can answer general questions if they have them. So that's fine. They don't need any type of authorization for that. But each time that they do call, we will have to have the student's permission. Essentially, it's like a verbal family hub act, so to speak. One day the student may say, yeah, it's fine to talk to them about it. Next week, it may be different. So you will have to, we will have to have the student's permission each time that you do call in. Whether it's, again, they could be on the phone with you, say, hey, yes, it's okay. Send an email beforehand, or even if they're in office and they call or something like that. But we will have to have permission each time that we do discuss something with the student or with the parent from the student.
And thank you. And we have two final questions, and I think we'll be glad to take those. The recording for this webinar and all of the other webinars we've already had is available on Facebook for further viewing, for you to go back and visit, to talk, to share it with your student or other family members who were not able to join us. So the recording will be live on Facebook and will be there forever. So you can go back and see it, but we will also post it on our website, uab.edu/families, under the communication tab under webinars 2025. This one will be up within a week because we'll add some captions to it, but you can already see it on Facebook and all the other past webinars as well. And then if you have additional questions later, you can submit them to onestop@uab.edu, or financial aid, which I believe, correct me, Brian, is financialaid@uab.edu?
So it'll be FinAid.
FinAid.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's one thing, remember, we have talked about all our emails are pretty easy at UAB. So it's the name of where you're writing and followed by @uab.edu. So again, we thank everybody for being here today. Thank you, Brian, and thank you, Wilton, for taking us through the important aspect of financials and how money, helps in this journey, and it's a necessary need. And so we are here to answer any additional questions. Just send them to One Stop or FinAid@uab.edu. And if anything else, if you don't remember any of those, families@uab.edu, and we will put you in touch with the right people to get any question answered. So thank you very much again for joining us. We will invite you to join us next week for 3 amazing webinars, and I'm going to use this for a commercial moment, for wellness promotion, student assistance and support, and the Collatz School of Business. You will be getting information about all of this through the Family Hub. And just as your students, we encourage your students to check their BlazerNet and their UAB email address. We invite you to register on the Family Hub and get information that will help you support your student through their journey. So thank you, everybody, for being here with us today, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.